I'd always thought Wes was the serious, untouchable type, the kind of guy who commanded boardrooms and terrified interns. I never imagined he had a playful side, let alone one he'd use on me. The art exhibition was in a quiet, upscale district downtown. The gallery was dimly lit, the walls lined with contemporary pieces that I frankly didn't understand. But Wes seemed genuinely interested, occasionally leaning in close to whisper an observation or a joke about a particularly abstract painting that looked like spilled spaghetti. Every time he leaned in, that crisp scent of bitter lemon and ice washed over me. It was grounding. It was nice. What do you think of this one? Wes asked, pausing in front of a massive canvas dominated by chaotic slashes of red and black. I tilted my head, genuinely trying to find a deeper meaning. It looks angry, like someone threw a tantrum with a paintbrush. Wes let out a low, genuine laugh. Exactly. The artist claims it represents the duality of man's existential dread, but I'm pretty sure he just had a bad day. I laughed with him, the tension that had been knotting my stomach since last night finally beginning to unravel. For the first time in years, I was spending time with a man who wasn't Jake, and I wasn't constantly analyzing my own behavior, terrified of saying the wrong thing and ruining the mood. You're easy to be around, Summer, Wes said softly, his eyes shifting from the painting to my face. The dim gallery lighting cast soft shadows across his features, making his usually sharp jawline look gentler. I could say the same about you, I replied, feeling a flush creep up my neck. I always thought you were. Well, kind of intimidating. Wes raised an eyebrow, a teasing smile playing on his lips. Intimidating? Me? I'm deeply offended. He reached out and tucked a loose strand of hair behind my ear. The gesture was so casual, so intimate, that my breath hitched. His fingers lingered for a fraction of a second against my cheek before he dropped his hand. I've always paid attention to you, Summer, he murmured, the teasing tone vanishing, replaced by a quiet intensity that made my heart hammer against my ribs. Even when you were too busy looking at someone else, the mention of Jake hung in the air between us, a silent ghost. I dropped my gaze to the polished concrete floor, the familiar sting of rejection threatening to surface. But then Wes's hand found mine again, his fingers interlacing with mine, anchoring me to the present. But you're looking at me now, he said firmly. And that's all that matters. We spent the rest of the afternoon wandering through the city. We got coffee, walked through the park, and talked about everything and nothing. I learned that Wes hated black licorice, was secretly afraid of heights, and had a soft spot for stray cats. I found myself opening up to him in ways I never had with Jake. With Jake, I was always the accommodating little sister. With Wes, I felt like a woman. An equal. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the city skyline, Wes drove us back to my apartment building. When he parked the car, a sudden, heavy silence descended upon us. The magic of the day was fading, and the reality of my messy, complicated life was waiting just upstairs. Thank you for today, Wes, I said, unbuckling my seatbelt. It was really wonderful, I'm glad, he smiled, turning slightly in his seat to face me. Same time tomorrow? I blinked, surprised. You want to see me again tomorrow? Wes let out a soft, exasperated sigh. Summer, we're dating. That usually involves seeing each other more than once. Unless you're already tired of me? No, of course not, I stammered, my face burning. Tomorrow sounds great. Good, he leaned in across the console. I froze, my eyes widening as his face drew closer to mine. For a moment, I thought he was going to kiss me. My heart hammered a frantic rhythm against my ribs. But instead of claiming my lips, he pressed a soft, lingering kiss to my forehead. Good night, Summer, he whispered against my skin. Good night, Wes, I breathed, my voice barely audible. I practically floated out of the car and into the building. The elevator ride up to my floor felt like it took seconds. I was smiling, a genuine, giddy smile that I couldn't seem to wipe off my face. Maybe moving on from Jake wouldn't be as hard as I thought. Maybe Wes really was the